right. So we're going to talk about the in-between season. So, and when you are in midlife or in any season of life, you're going to be, there's going to be times where you're in between seasons, like where something has ended, the next thing hasn't begun yet. And I want you to think of it as yourself being on a bridge and you're unsure what's on this side. You know what's back here, and but you're not real sure about what's on the other end of the bridge. It's a little foggy. And these seasons, when we are in between, can feel disorienting in a way, especially if we are having to let go of something that has been so familiar and for a very long time. And we seasons, like I said, can feel disorienting, like you're just not sure what's going on. It feels rather uncomfortable when you're wanting to let go of something that you have held close for so long. And it may be by choice, it may not be by choice. It may be that the choice was made for you. But these times of being in between are also really fertile ground for clarity, for things to really clear up when the fog lifts. So the space in between is like where the old patterns of thinking are falling away, maybe an old responsibilities are changing, and new possibilities are starting to take shape. And that's where we are in the in between time. And often, what keeps us feeling stuck in these in between times, or right there in the middle of the bridge, isn't just because we're not sure what the next step needs to be. It's the weight of all the things that we're carrying as we move through this life. Because let's face it, there's a lot of things that we can carry through this life. And sometimes it's rejection. You might be carrying some kind of rejection, and it's caused you to doubt your worth in one way or another. Maybe it's loss, something that you have lost that has left you holding on to grief and you don't know where to put it because it's so new and so uncomfortable. Or maybe it's change that feels so overwhelming, just the thought of something's changing. And you're still waiting for that nudge to say it's okay, move forward. But a lot of times we don't have the luxury of waiting for things to all fall in place. We need to take that first step. Sometimes before we take that step, we're looking for someone else's approval. We want everyone else to tell us what should we do, what step should we take. And it's these experiences that really shake our sense of connection and our sense of feeling steady. And we can get to the point where we feel cut off from people, maybe cut off from nature, maybe even from God or your higher power who you look to for your spiritual strength. And that's why self awareness is such a powerful tool because it shows us where that disconnection is happening and where we can begin to nurture that new belonging, that new uh, season that we're stepping into. And self awareness is all about just noticing those patterns and not judging them, just sorting things out and naming things. And we're going to do a little naming exercise here in just a minute. Because when we name what it is that keeps us standing still, standing in the middle of that bridge. We give ourselves the power to release it and then to step forward, feeling lighter and more confident. So, if you're ready to feel lighter and more confident, put an L in there. Let's see, L for lighter, or a C in the comments for being more confident. And now let's take just a few minutes to do a little naming exercise. We're going to name some of the heaviness that you might be experiencing. So, if you're someone who has something ending, there's a phase that's ending right now, a season of life that is ending. And I want you to type that word in the chat. You can also um, just type the first letter if you don't really feel comfortable typing the whole thing, or really just simply say it to yourself. Say it to yourself. What is one thing that is ending right now? And then think of the second thing. I want you to think of what's something that hasn't begun yet, or it's just beginning. What is it that you're just beginning to enter into that still feels a little uncertain and a little heavy? And like I said, you can type it in the chat if you'd like to, type in the first letter, just say it to yourself. So, what's ending? What's something that's just beginning? Or an area in your life where you just need some space right now? And sometimes that can feel heavy. So, I want you to visualize these three things: something that's ending, something that's just beginning, or something where you just need space. And you've named it to yourself. You could type it in the chat or not. You can put the first letter in the chat or not. But what I want you to do is visualize taking those three heavy weights and putting them in your imaginary backpack. And you're standing on this bridge and you've got that backpack. And I want you to zip it, unzip it, put those three things in there that are causing you just a little bit of, oh, I don't know, a lack of clarity, a little fogginess. And I see there that Tammy says she's just beginning a new church. And that's what I'm talking about. Even though it might be an exciting time, there's things when we're just beginning something new that can feel a little bit heavy, a little bit foggy. And so there's a few other things that I want you to consider too. And if you name it, I want you to put it in that backpack. If it's feeling a little bit heavy, just pick it up, put it in that imaginary backpack. Where do you feel most connected or disconnected? So if you are feeling a little bit of disconnection, is it to humanity, to nature, to your higher power? Put that in the backpack. And then think about where you might be holding on to someone else's approval. Someone else has put some expectations on you and you are trying to meet those expectations. Think about who that person is, or the things that they are expecting from you that are just not who you are anymore. And you can put those in the backpack. And one more, that rejection, that loss, those things that are echoing in your decisions, making you uncertain, just put all that stuff in the backpack. And now we're going to do a little grounding exercise. And I'd like for you to just close your eyes. And I want you to picture yourself on that bridge that we've been talking about. And things are a little bit foggy right now, and you can't see either side, but you know it's there. You know what you've left on that side of the bridge, and you're wanting to go to the other side of the bridge, but it's still a little bit foggy. And I want you to feel your feet steady on that bridge underneath you. And I want you to think about yourself in transition. You're in transition. And sometimes it can feel a little bit heavy. So, if this middle of the bridge feeling or this in between time that you're experiencing right now, if it feels heavy, I want you to picture yourself on this bridge in the fog, taking that backpack off. All those things that we talked about and that you named and you put in that backpack just a few minutes ago. I want you to take that backpack off and place it on the planks right by your feet. It's still there, it's real, but guess what? You don't have to carry them all the way across the bridge. You can just recognize them, you've named them, and they're all in a nice, cozy place in that backpack, and you're going to leave it right there on the bridge as you enter into your next season, your next beginning. And that's what self expansion is all about. And that's what self expansion coaching is all about. That's what this Facebook community is all about. Exploring those weights, those things that can hinder our forward movement, rejection, loss, changes, and the pull, that we feel of trying to seek approval. Those are things that we don't want to dwell on, but we do want to see them clearly. And that's why we, through the process of self expansion, we take inventory of things like that. And in my self expansion coaching, I have clients do what I call a transpersonal connection inventory. And it just helps you to see where the disconnection is and where it is holding you back or making you feel stuck or uncertain or uncomfortable, and how your connections to other people, to nature, to God can give you strength to cross that bridge with clarity and courage, even though you can't see clearly what's on the other side. And when we notice what's keeping us stuck and what's weighing us down, that heavy backpack, we can step to that other side of the bridge by putting that backpack down and moving forward with strength and clarity and compassion for ourselves. So, I have a question for you as we get ready to finish our talk here on the in between. Are you navigating a season when something has ended, but the next thing hasn't quite begun, or it has begun and it's just so uncomfortable and heavy? If so, I have a printable resource that's available that will help guide you through some self-reflection. And in this resource, it's just really some gentle reflection prompts. And there's some grounding practice for you that is really a simple thing that'll help you honor where you are right now in your own unique journey. And it doesn't cost a thing. It's just a steadying hand or practice that you can utilize on the middle of the bridge moments where you're in between what was and what's becoming, what that new piece is. And if you want me to send this resource to you in your inbox, just register for the reminders if you haven't done so already down below. I'll put a link in the comments and in the show notes if you're listening on YouTube, or you can just message me directly and I'll make sure and get it to you. And just remember, as we say goodbye and close off for this evening's spotlight session, that peace and purpose grow from the steps that you choose. So thank you again for being with me on this call, and we are going to say goodbye.